We have an Academy Award winner here, everybody. Clean up your desk. It's basically what I'm saying. You got to clean up your workspaces. We have an Academy Award winner here. And it's a fun movie that we're talking about that he is in, available in theaters on December 10th. It's called National Champions. He plays the head coach of a college football national championship team before the big game, whose star players start a player strike because they're not going to compete until all student athletes are fairly compensated. It's like a little bit name, image, and likeness stuff. In many ways, like his Law and Order work, ripped straight from the headlines. He is none other than J.K. Simmons here in the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line. How are you, J.K.?
I am fine. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine.
In this illustrious week leading up to the game and the opening of the film, of course.
Okay. Do I have to dress up for both? Is that what I got to do? Do I got to dress up for that?
Well, I'm wearing scarlet and gray face paint as we speak. I wish I was in studio.
A scarlet and gray carpet that's being rolled out for the big.
Oh God, yeah, I should have campaigned for that.
So I guess let's combine both of these subject matters. In National Champions, you play the head coach of a college football team trying to win a national championship. Is it true you demanded that your coach had to wear khakis in this film, J.K.? Is that true?
That would be patently false.
Patently false, not just false, just patently.
Yes,
false.
I too late in the game, I thought, oh man, I should have gone with the sweater vest and done a little bit of a trestle homage, but no, we opted for a fairly dressed down traditional kind of polo shirt and baseball cap look on my coach, who because I was so busy leading up into this, I was horrified to realize that I was playing the head coach of the SEC team. Yeah, but it's fiction. It's fiction.
Well, they say the SEC, it just means more, which outrages all of us in the Big Ten when we hear that sort of phrase, that it means more to them. Like, please,
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
So who are you channeling in this role of Coach James Laser, J.K. Simmons? Who are you channeling as your head coach?
You know what? I'm actually not channeling anybody. When I had an opportunity very early in my career to play the manager of my beloved Detroit Tigers, I unabashedly channeled Jim Leland well before he was the manager of the Tigers.
Okay.
This was 1998, but he was just such a great sort of role model to me. James Laser is just a purely fictional creation on the part of the writer and the director and myself, and for better or worse, he's not really based on anybody.
You didn't use it as an excuse to call up an Ohio State coach, past or present, to say, help me out here? You didn't use that as an actor?
You'd have thought I'd get, hey, Ryan Day's not busy doing anything. Can he hang out with me for a while? No, I did not. I did not take advantage.
Come on. That would have been so
Plus,
cool.
It was, when did we shoot this? It was April? Was it April?
Yeah.
I think it was April or May.
What's Ryan Day doing except sending a player to the National Football League, then only to disappoint because nobody's Tom Brady? Well, you know what I mean?
Come on.
I got to hang my hat on something. Let's just jump into this then, and then we'll circle back to the film. What's your sense of things going into this big game, J.K. Simmons? What's your sense of Ohio State, Michigan?
Well, as always, I am reluctant to be too optimistic because it is the big game. Mm-hmm. It is the big rivalry game. You know, my other big rivalry that I care about was the Brawl of the Wild, which took place this past Saturday, University of Montana versus Montana State. That's
I love that phrase.
I actually graduated from University of Montana. As is often the case in rivalry games, you know, Montana State was the better team coming into the game, and the University of Montana just absolutely blew them off the field. I mean, the defense was like a brick wall. So, you know, I mean, in a way, I would like to say, come on, it's going to be, 62-0 Buckeyes, because I think we have a phenomenal team this year, and I think our defense has really come around the last half of the season. But I'm going to be very cautiously optimistic
Right.
and say, it'll be a hard-fought rivalry game on hostile turf, and we'll only win by a couple of touchdowns.
So, because Michigan does have something different this time around than any of the last times that they have faced, your team in the last 15 years, or 17 years, right? And the difference is, in my estimation, a defensive coordinator who's not going to do the same damn thing over and over again and say, try and beat us. And then when you try and then you're beaten 5, 6, 7 straight possessions, just keep doing it. I honestly think that Michigan has a better plan and has the run game to maybe keep your horses off the field, to use a Big Sky phrase, So
no, I absolutely agree. A better plan and better personnel, I think, on both sides of the ball. So. Yeah, and honestly, I feel like the big brother talking to the little brother now, which applies, I guess, in a variety of ways. I'm not saying this. I'm not really saying this, but in a way, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, even for an Ohio State fan, for the team up north to eventually win a game again, because this rivalry has become. Let's face it, pretty sad for the last 15-plus years.
Here's what you're doing. You're doing J.K. Simmons. I know what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You're laying the tracks of the loss being actually good for the rivalry. Yeah, it's good that you finally draw blood once in a while, and as if you don't know that even with this remarkable stretch run, Michigan still leads the all-time series by 4 games, 6 games. My bad. I'm even shorting all that. So how cyclical this is. You know how it can be cyclical. Cyclical, you know that.
Yeah, in terms of the first 30 years of this was like Goliath beating up on a little overgrown cowtown college team. When this rivalry began, it was decidedly one-sided, and the Wolverines were just looking for somebody to beat up on.
Right. And then Woody Hayes comes along, and then Michigan takes somebody from his staff, and that's when the 10-year Woody Bo war hits. And then towards the end of the Bo era, there's when Earl Bruce gets canned, and then John Cooper comes in, and that's when Michigan was continually beating them by like a drum. And then the aforementioned Jim Tressel comes in, things begin to flip. And then, now things are totally one-sided in the other direction. I think that's a fair assessment of the history of this.
It is a very fair assessment. And, for me, of course, my lifetime, the rivalry, in my awareness, began with Woody Hayes. So that's, that's the sort of, what's that?
Yeah, I guess.
That's going on 70 years now that we're talking about the sort of, quote-unquote, modern era of the rivalry.
See, but you're not allowed to say, if Michigan wins, that's good for the rivalry. You're not allowed to say that. That is not allowed to say.
I'm not even allowed to say the name of that team up north.
God. Well, I guess if you so when you're spelling your name this week, it's Sixxons. Is that how you spell with 2 red X's in the middle of your name? You're not one of those, are you, JK?
You're
not one of those, are you?
No, I don't do the X thing too much. I either refer to them as TTUN.
Yes, that school up north. Yep, the team up north. Okay.
Or one of the Lang brothers on my Lang brothers Buckeye chain with my buddy and his 3 brothers who are OSU alumni. We also routinely refer to them as simply stupid helmets.
Stupid helmets, he says. Okay, that sounds really, really mature for an Academy Award winner, JK.
The Lang Brothers text chain. Come on, we really should fold you in on that.
Oh, my. Yeah, fold me in. Unsubscribe, JK. Unsubscribe in advance. On, yeah, I'll get in on that. JK Sixons here on the Rich Eisen Show. On this big week. Okay, so where are you watching the game? What is your scenario for Saturday?
I will be locked in the master bedroom at our place in LA. We're sort of we're bi-coastal again. But currently in California.
Okay, so you're locked now. Now, do you need to?
And I, by the way, as is almost always the case, sometimes of necessity, sometimes out of choice. I almost never watch the game live because, any Ohio State game, but especially against TTUN because I just can't take it, I can't deal with the 3-minute commercial break.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I generally start it. If my schedule is my own,
sure.
I'll start it like an hour and a half late, so that by the end of the game, I'm almost caught up to real time.
You
and I
are,
turn my
by the
phone
way,
off,
Yeah, you got to turn your phone off, and I know you're definitely not on social media. That's for sure. So
no,
I know that. So I don't blame you either. Sometimes those commercial breaks are so long. Halftime is 45 minutes long because the bands have to get out there, and the bands are more important to you than me. And so
because we have the best damn band. Let's face it.
You with the bands, man, and the whole script Ohio, because I love the script Ohio stuff because for some reason Ohio State fans want to just prove to the world they really can spell. You know what I mean?
Yes,
if we spot you the four letters, you can actually dot the right one. You want to prove that one.
Well played.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. This is fun. J.K. Simmons here on the Rich Eisen Show, and this is cool. So you are playing you playing the actor. Well, you are J.K. Simmons playing the actor William Frawley in the Being the Ricardos film based on the I Love Lucy Amazon upcoming film Being the Ricardos. That's coming up for you too next month, right?
Indeed. On the same day as national champions.
Wow, that is so cool. What can you tell me about that? No, honestly, that is some pop culture greatness right there. What can you tell me about what to expect from that one, JK?
Well, fortunately, what people can expect, because it's Aaron Sorkin, is not a standard biopic, kind of, here's the spunky little 8-year-old redhead, it basically takes a week in the life of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz on the second season of I Love Lucy, when it was a unprecedented cultural phenomenon. Half the households in the country were tuned in on a weekly basis, and it kind of compresses several significant events in their lives into 1 week, and then of course myself as Bill Frawley and Nina Arianda as Vivian Vance / Ethel Mertz have some really fun supporting parts in that. We have only tiny glimpses of us, in character.
Sure.
In the show, the vast majority of it is more
behind
backstage.
the scenes, right? But that must have been pretty cool for you to play Fred Mertz, right? Even just for a split second as the character, right? I mean,
it was really, really fun and daunting in a way at first, and I initially kind of shied away from it just because I was being a and was afraid of inadequately sort of representing that guy. But
right.
But after talking to Aaron, who, in case anybody is not aware, is a genius, and talking about what he wanted it to be and what he didn't want it to be, and and seeing the cast that he was putting together and all that, it was a real joy to be a part of.
Well, and the cast for National Champions as well, where you play a head football coach, is an excellent cast too. Lil Rel Howery, David Koechner, who I love, Timothy Oliphant, fantastic, Christian Chenoweth, and then the cameos include Russell Wilson and did you get Malcolm Jenkins in because he's a Buckeye? Did you? Is that how that worked too?
You know what? The Malcolm Jenkins connection happened without me, and don't forget Stephon James, who plays. The Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and it's an amazing cast, and I didn't know, we were talking about Aaron, but I didn't know Rick Roman Waugh before this, the director, but he was a big part of the attraction to me after he and I chatted on the phone a couple times, and his passion for both college football and filmmaking, and it was a real labor of love on everyone's part, and a bing bang boom, pretty quick and intense shoot in good old New Orleans.
Well, that's cool.
And it was actually a genius production because the whole movie takes place in that frenetic few days building up to the national title game, and we're all staying at all the press and the team, are staying at the Grand Hyatt across the street from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, and that was exactly what we did. I was in New Orleans for like 2 or 3 weeks and never left the Hyatt Hotel. It was like a little boiler not what's the term, we were like in a pressure cooker.
Sure.
We were like in this pressure cooker the whole time, art imitating life.
Well, I look forward to National Champions on December 10th, and then that's available in theaters, and then on the same day, being the Ricardos, you play Fred Mertz in theaters on the 10th, and then of course and on Amazon Prime the day before Christmas on December 24th. Hey, J.K. Simmons, I would say good luck this weekend, but I don't mean it at all. And I think you probably feel the same way, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
I do feel very much the same way. I will, in a horribly condescending way, say good luck anyway, because I think you guys are still the little brother, and we're still going to smack you around.
Okay. Let's put a pin in that. We'll put a pin in that. We shall revisit. We shall revisit.
Yes, we shall. Annually, I hope, if not more so.
Me too. Congrats on the films, and thanks for the call, J.K.
All right. Thank you, man.
You got it. J.K. Simmons, which is spelled with 2 X's this week, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.